Certainly, if both Ken and I have talked about this, but more so we've talked about it in the last couple of weeks, the fact that this thing has become so big over such a short period of time, and now there's a huge amount at stake.
The challenges are enormous, and it's not just about their physical preparation, it's their nutrition, it's how they recover, it's the psychology, injury prevention, injury management.
The whole event and the project, if you like, has become all-consuming. Like training-wise, we're training, 90 or 100 miles a week takes a lot of hours and a lot of time and energy.
I would imagine they're probably going to be running somewhere 4 hours plus for these marathons, even if they can run them faster normally. That's a lot of energy expenditure. And to sit down and think you've got to replenish that. We know that Tour de France cyclists, for example, would expend somewhere around 7,000 kilocalories per day. But one of the differences is they have rest days, they have professional support teams, they're elite athletes, this is what they do, but also it's non-weight bearing, and that's a big part of it. The fact you're on a bike, the impact forces, are far less substantial.
Muhammad Ali had a great expression about far away from the glaring lights. That's when I won all my medals. In the training gyms and all of that. And days like today, where we've thankfully had the good health to run 31 miles and feeling good, as you can see, and that's the level of training that we've got to, and we still have another 10 weeks of intense training to go to get us to the start line. I suppose the only thing we can't control is injury. We do feel that we have the ability to do it once we can get to the start line injury-free. And that's the only thing I think that scares us, the fact that, God forbid, something might happen to us. It could happen tomorrow or it could happen the day before.
I mean, from a training point of view, clearly they have to do a lot of high-volume training and preparation for that. And it's probably significantly upping their normal training load to simply cope with what they're going to be doing in the event. And potentially there could be a greater risk of injury as a result of that. Repetitive strain type injuries, lower limb type injuries, the stresses and strains on the joints, the tendons, the ligaments is going to be a factor. And clearly what they're going to have to need is a clear run-in in terms of their training and hopefully be injury-free before they start the event.
2 or 3 weeks ago again, my shins were at me. So I've kind of had to do a wee bit of reshaping of the training plan. It was probably inevitable that some sort of niggles would come over 6 or 7 months of hard training of 70, 80, 90 miles a week. It's a lot to ask the body to cope with, and it's tough on the legs.
But clearly one thing they're not going to happen, they're not going to be recovered on a day-to-day basis. So there's going to be a gradual decrement in their work capacity. I just thought of the whole logistics of it and thought, is it really feasible? Can the human body cope with that? To do that without any rest days, you need to be able to recover. I mean, you think about it, one marathon is 42 kilometres. If you times that by 32, we're talking over 1,300 kilometres, which is the equivalent of like running from Berlin back to Dublin. So the challenges are enormous, and it's not just about their physical preparation, it's their nutrition, it's how they recover, it's the psychology, injury prevention, injury management, potential sleep deprivation. So there's so many logistical issues, not just purely about running it, but all the factors related to it as well.